Oh, we're ready? Okay. We're now recording. So welcome, everybody. This is a video preview of the Glass Stress Show, Women in Glass, happening in Venice right now in Murano. I want to just acknowledge that this is brought to us by the support of the Art Alliance for Contemporary Glass and the 21st Century Glass page on Facebook. And we're so happy to have everyone here to kind of see this kind of historic moment. Just to give people just a tiny bit background, Glass Stress is a project that was put on by Adriano Berengo to further his mission of marrying contemporary art and glass. Artists of all disciplines, from sculptors to musicians, have been invited to collaborate with the maestros in creating art in glass. Launched in 2009 as an official event of the Venice Biennale, today it's the world's leading showcase of this collaboration of craft and creativity, forging a new trajectory for glass and a new path for contemporary artists. The way I always phrase it is, the promise of Studio Glass was to cross over into the fine art world, and it did, but not always in the way that was expected. So this is where Adriano comes in. The show has included such historic contemporary artists and historic and contemporary artists as Ai Weiwei, Louise Bourgeois, Tony Craig, Oliver Eliasson, Zaha Hadid, Luke Jerem, Michael Jude, Nawa Koe, Paul McCarthy, Beth Lippman. I mean, the list is endless. There's almost 200 artists that Adriano has worked with over the years, and we both share a love of this kind of artwork. So Adriano, I'm going to leave it to you to introduce Koen and Nadja when they come up. So for now, I hand it over from everybody here to Adriano Berengo, founder of Glass Stress. Go, buddy.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you. Couldn't use better words to describe what we have been doing for the last 30 years, you know. A dream which doesn't belong only to me. I share the dream with Peggy Guggenheim. You know, Guggenheim in the 60s, 65, she said that glass is a material far too important that to be left only in the hand of the master, the glass master, or the shopkeeper. And she started to initiate what modestly I'm doing now, by inviting contemporary artists coming mainly from the fine arts to glass, to Murano, and now with the help of technology, I think we have a highway in front of us to create new work, new I think intelligent work also. So I am the president of Berengo Studio, of the Berengo, I've initiated, as you said, Glass Stress. That was about 20 years ago, you see. And how do we come to this exhibition? In the panorama of the pandemic, of the disaster we are all sharing now, you see, I felt that I had to ask some help. I felt that I had to get some rescue from the women I've been working with for the last 30 years. I realized that I had about 70 women who came to me during the year to collaborate, and they have a new idea about glass. So I went to them and I says, you have to help me. Do you remember when you were a small kid that you have a pain and you pray, you ask your mother to help you? That was my attitude, because in the desert of this city, no biennale has been moved, no exhibition. I thought it was necessary to give a clear voice, a clear sign, and I wanted glass to shout aloud, particularly in this moment, because in the last 30 years, I always have done exhibition in connection with the Biennale. So the absence of the Biennale created an emptiness. So I asked women to help me. And we started this exhibition, Women in Glass. What are the women? you know, women, if you have a word to define them, they are unbreakable. You know, they are timid, but very strong. And they enter into this situation with a lot of energy, with a lot of new ideas. Please, let's start to see. I must say that I have been helped tremendously by my two curators of the show. Nadja is one of the curators. You know, she's a passionate curator of art, of design, and she is
passionate of womanhood and women voices empowerment, and a passionate of Venice and the Renaissance of Venice.
Oh, very good.
And this exhibition for me we are really it all by passion, and that's a very grateful to Adriano for inviting me.
So in this show, you will see
your Michael. I've seen your Philip Glass and your Matthew Barney videos.
Yes. I've produced this documentary about Philip Glass, and had the occasion to work with him and to work on with Matthew Barney years ago. Yes. And I've worked with many visual artists and filmmakers as a producer, curator, artistic director. So contemporary art is part of my journey.
Very good, excellent. So we couldn't choose better. Yeah. Anyway, so what you will see in this exhibition is a large number of old works, work which show to be significant in the passage I did through glass and on glass, and of course there is a bunch of new realization. We are very happy also that an icon of women, an icon of feminism, Judy Chicago, accepted to be invited in such a show. We will show later. No, we show now the work. Yeah. Oh, no. Okay, it should wait. So let's go through the show. Yeah. We have old Sibylle Peretti. Sibylle Peretti, you know, this is the first work of Sibylle Peretti. I think she's largely known in America, which is, she told me that to be very careful because that's the only and first work in cast glass that she has created in glass. Yes. Let's continue here. See. You see, this work, which is by an artist, Mi Young, which is from Taiwan. No, it wouldn't be possible with technology of the water jet cutting, you see. That's the work of Peter Koen. She is an American artist living in New York. She worked with Galerie Lelong. Oh, there we have Tracy Emin. Okay. Good. And that's also an old work by Elvira Bach. Elvira Bach, she's a German artist. She's the founder of a movement called Neue Wirklichkeiten, New Realism, of the young German artists, you see. And so she was here on different times. That's a new artist, new work made for this exhibition. It's Sabine Wieneshofer. She is from Austria. So she chose to make hundreds of bullets in glass to symbolically to hit the male world.
Adriano, can I interrupt you 1 second?
Yes.
Can you stay closer to the
Yes,
phone?
please.
Because the room's very echoey. It sounds very echoey.
Yeah.
People here.
Like
So they've asked if you can stay closer to the phone. If you can.
like this, like this.
That's fine.
Is it okay like this?
Fine, yeah.
Very good. Okay, let's continue. We have here the work. It's also a new work by Brigitte Koen. It's a new work because she was representing Austria 4 years at the Biennale of Venice, at the pavilion of the Austrian pavilion, and unfortunately she was recently operated at the kidney, and we made this work to homage her, and she was so happy to contribute to this show. Instead of using the work she used in the Biennale, she used this one. Show. As also a young French artist connected with a famous gallery in Paris, Prum Nouri. Look at the detail of the execution in the vein, in the system of vein and arteries, the vessels of the human body. Okay, now, this is probably the most spectacular part of our, we call this museum, but still it is not a museum yet. This is an old furnace which stopped to produce glass in 1960. And when we purchased this and we had the intention to use it in this way, we wanted to keep it as it was. This is a great example of industrial archaeology. I see our second great curator, Koen Vanmechelen, is himself a Belgian artist, very well known also in the States, in Detroit, for his project of Cosmopolitan Chicken project. Anyway, he helped me greatly here in the preparation and the finalization of the work. Koen Vanmechelen.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here, and so many years I worked with the Berengo Foundation, and I remember in 2000 we were walking through this space, and 2000 was that moment that we were thinking, this is a breakthrough in history. And so I remember that I was with Adriana and we said to each other, this could be something which gives a shift for the next century. We were laughing at that moment a little bit, but I think it becomes true. This space is a birthplace, you know. This is a kind of reincarnation. And I'm actually really happy to be in the middle of that fire, of that dance, and especially in this moment to be present in a show is actually about women, but I think there is, I think this is a great moment where we have to think about cure, where we have to think about restoring our environment. And if I look to the works, and I take you a little bit
Yes.
with us, then you see.
Hey, Koen, can I interrupt you for 1 second?
What?
Tell
me.
Let me tell a little bit. Let me give the bio of you to people who don't know you already. I love Koen because he was my curator when I was in Glass Dress, but not everybody knows you. So I'm going to do this real quick and then hand it back to you, okay? Koen,
Okay.
all right, he's an internationally renowned contemporary artist. He works at the confluence of art, science, philosophy, and social engagement. He is best known for his Cosmopolitan Chicken project. I've always wanted to say that. Vanmechelen connects the seemingly unconnected in an effort to investigate, understand, and document how we can bring about positive, practical impact on our moment in time and space. He's been an active curator since the 90s. His resume will blow your socks off. He's curated, among many other things, also the International Glass Dress exhibitions worldwide and the Peabody Art Festival in Slovenia and the Venice Biennale, and he is my friend, and I'm very happy to have him here. Go ahead, Koen, just so they know who you are a little bit.
That's the best introduction that you can give. It's incredible. Yeah, I remember, you know, the last biennial was really spectacular. Thank you for your work at that moment.
My pleasure.
So I was just telling, you know, being in the middle of this environment where you can feel the fire, where you can feel a kind of rebirthing. And so we are standing here in front of the work of Rina. She lives in New York. She works in New York. So it's like a big cocoon that is breaking open and breaks open. And so it is like new elements that are dancing all over the world. And I'm thinking that this kind of work in the middle of this environment is very important, is very strong. It is very engaging as well, because I know Rina, she is Berger, she is very concerned about the environment. And from here, you know, everything starts to exist. I have the feeling there are some kind of viruses, but hanging around. But in my opinion, they are very lovely. There's Maria Rosin. She's Italian, and she makes like ice viruses. And I'm thinking that they, you know, they comes out of a frozen century. I don't know. It's something new, but they don't feel really dangerous anymore. So it's like new life is coming up. So I think you have to feel this space, because to see it like this is very exciting, but be in the middle of this space is actually something else. So now, before we go back into space, and I think Nadja will take over, we go to the next space, and I think we will talk with Maria Cazun, which is for a long time a friend, but it's better that we let her speak herself.
Hi, my name is Maria Cazun, and this is my piece, Wandering Stars. I decided here to make an installation that deals with, exploring what the human condition is going on right now, how it's the excesses of industrialization, the excesses of frenetic life, and pollution and global warming. So I decided to make this extinct asteroid, where you feel the viewer can step in and look at space, you know, for answers, like the antique people used to do in the antiquities. They look at the sky to find answers. Answers about actually how to relate to Earth. So here you have traces of people gathering.
Microphone. We're having a very good time hearing her, so if you could get closer to the work.
Thank you.
Is Koen there with you, Nicola?
It's coming back, yeah.
Oh, yeah, please. I think we all recognize this one.
We lost him for a moment.
Okay. Tell us what you know, Nicola.
So this is the work of Karen LaMonte, and as you can see, I mean, that's a masterpiece of glass making. and it's really, you know, talks to our imaginary, the references to sculpture, antiques, marbles. And it's also a woman without a head, which is a classic, either because in the antique pieces they lost their head, or because sometimes, like the surrealists, they would like to make women without a head. And it's the delicateness, the precision in the pleats of this work is actually marvelous. And I don't know if you can see on the Zoom, but there is variation of colors, there is the transparency, and it really feels like there's a body there. You can feel the body. I mean, this piece is incredible. And I think you have seen just before the smallest, the smaller models of Karen.
This is absolutely the new work of Karen LaMonte. Yeah, fantastic. Look at the dimension, small, but precise, detailed, fantastic.
And they're cast in Berengo Studio?
Absolutely, absolutely. Let me tell you another thing now. You mentioned the casting. I want to do a diversion for 2 minutes. Please follow me.
All right.
This is a secret door where we are casting the chandelier of Ai Weiwei. You know, the Chinese. You see, this is only 1/3 of the chandelier, the final chandelier. This is going to be installed in Rome at the Terme Diocleziane, which is a museum next to the Colosseum, and it is in a way it will become a kind of symbol for this pandemic, which is killing us. You see, so it's 1,500 pieces of cast glasses showing the human body, the vertebrae, the heart, the brain, you see. And so, and slowly I will bring you to the casting studio, which is a revolution for Murano, because you see, Murano always we made glass by blowing in the fashion of Lino Tagliapietra, in you know, adding color to color. So, but the casting was something which was alien to this island. And I realized that the more I was going into art, the more I feel that the contemporary fine art artists, they do not like the maestro interpret their work. They want to be the interpreter of the work. So they want the work to be as they see it and as they make it. So we have created, please follow me, we have created this casting.
This is a great treat to get to see the Ai Weiwei pieces and the casting studio. Oh my gosh. Thanks for the
all 1,500 casting pieces, and that would be 9 meters. So what you saw was only 1/3 of the chandelier. Ai Weiwei, by the way, is coming next Monday here to see the final arrangement, to fix, to tell it is exactly right, and then we will show it in Rome. But Tim, I will keep you informed of this, you know. But look at this, for example. Another giant in contemporary art is Jaume Plensa. Jaume Plensa is very famous in Chicago, all those big sculptures. You see, this is a little model that he made, you know, and we are making now, this is the wax, and you know, through the wax, we create with the technique of the lost wax, the glass pieces. Look at this. this is another big piece of Ai Weiwei, you know, is with the middle with the middle finger, and this is a piece we made for Glass Rest 2015 in Venice. You see, yeah. No, but for me, I learn every day from artists. It's a continuous discovery. Look at this. This is Tony Cragg. You see. This is the 3D printing model, you see? Sure. And now from this, we have created the wax. And from the wax, now we create a coverage of the wax, and then we melt the wax, and then we create the vacuum to inject the glass. No, I just wanted to show you this because, you know, I'm sure that the people you're talking to, they're all lovers of glass, like me. It's a common passion. And I feel that a large part of the glass in the future will be focused, will be concerned with the casting studios. Yeah. We are preparing, Tim. I just wanted to, it's a little surprise. Come here.
Okay, I'm coming.
Look. Are you familiar with this piece?
Yes, I am.
You see, this is now polished, everything. This is ready to be, you know, to put the rubber and to cast this. This is a magnificent piece you made. You made a team. I'm really proud that you give me the possibility of translating this into a glass sculpture.
I'm very proud to be casting it. Although we should get back to the women, but I'm very proud to be part of that table. Thank you for showing them my mold. Someone wanted me to ask you a question. Does Ai Weiwei come in frequently? And I already know the answer to this because I was skeptical until one time I went to lunch and there Adriano was with Ai Weiwei. We went to dinner with him that night. So he does fly.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. No, Ai Weiwei is a fantastic guy. You know, he's a kind of icon now of the people who protest, who is very devoted to the human rights. But he comes here. I can't say often because, you know, I would like to be here all the time, but he comes here to follow step by step the project with him. We made many other pieces which will be presented probably at the Biennale of Venice in 2022, because as you know, the Biennale has been moved from 2021 to 2022. And in 2021, there will be the Biennale of Architecture, which we should have been to this year, you see. No, Monday is coming, you know, I fixed him, by the way, I found the hotel for him, the San Regis Hotel. It was the old Europa Regina Hotel. Sure. And I gave him the room which was guesting Monet, and also Sigmund Freud, you know, the psychoanalyst. Yeah.
You got me a room back by the boiler. Wait a minute. Man, I got to do better. I have another question for you. I have another question from someone here. They said that you said they create a vacuum. Can you hear me?
Sorry.
I have a question for you, Adriano.
Yes.
Some of them, they said, you said they create a vacuum to inject the glass into the mold after melting out the wax. Could you say more about that or name the process?
Yes, you know, you see, it's very simple. Well, it's simple when you know how to do it. You know, you have the model in wax. You know, you have to build around the model. You know, a structure and with some, how do you call it? It's a kind of plaster. It's a plaster, by the way, which I buy from America. The American producer are the best plaster producer in the world, I think.
I'm proud of.
Yeah, so I mean, and then we put it in a vapor, you know, so with the temperature increase and slowly the wax falls down and we have the imprint on the plaster of what was the original image of the wax, you see. So after doing this, we go into the furnace and we we tried to put some blocks of glass, you know. We use the old American and Czech technique. So we put the blocks of glass and we increase the temperature slowly up to 600, 700 degrees. And the glass at that temperature become liquid and drops down, drops down, drops down until it fills all the empty space which belonged before to the wax. So this is the technique. It's called Serre Perdu, lost wax. And we are following this. And I tell you more, one of the artists, Thomas Schutter is another giant of contemporary art. We'll have a show next year in the MoMA, and a solo show, a retrospective show in the MoMA. And he told me he will place in the MoMA 15 sculptures in glass that he has been producing with me. That makes me extremely proud, extremely happy. And you know what he did more? He made a building, because you see, I have a piece of land on the Lido of Venice. He made the building, he designed the building, and he made the maquette himself with his work, which will be the first casting studio for international artists. So I say 2 years from now, I would love you to come here, go to Malamocco. We have 5 apartments on the roof near the beach, and you can experience this new adventure with Berengo Studio.
I want Monet's room at the St. Regis. And
Okay.
all right, back to the tour. Back to the tour. We want to see more of the tour. Yes.
Back to tour. Back to tour. Back to tour. Okay. Back to the tour. You want to say something? Yeah. Now Koen is taking over, and he will explain this magnificent chandelier by Joana Vasconcelos. Joana Vasconcelos, she's a Portuguese artist, and she was honor of a solo exhibition at the Guggenheim Museum in Bilbao.
Okay.
So, hi, you're all there. Huh? That was quite a trip, I think, yeah?
Yeah,
there in the
quite a
costume. Yeah, but beautiful. Huh? I mean, this is a future. Huh? So if you look at this as Vasconcelos, big chandelier, you know that Venice is very known for the chandeliers. I think that Vasconcelos is a typical artist that seduces you. You know, she's taking you inside of something, but it's also a kind of multicultural piece. When I see this, and it is in a furnace, it can hang in a palace as well, but it also can hang in a tent in Morocco, for example, with the Berbers. And for me, it's giving some kind of warmness, but at the same time, it can be also very dangerous, I think. It's full of glass, it's full of parts that where you can hurt yourself, but at the same time, it also protects yourself. And I'm sure that Nadja has also another opinion about it.
Not another, but I can add my own take. I think Joana Vasconcelos is one of the artists in the exhibition who really have a reflection on womanhood, and her work really deal with what is usually attributed to a woman as an activity, what women make with their hands. So here she's playing with the knitting, the crochet, which is traditionally a woman activity, and also traditionally a material that is used by female artists. And she's using it with glass, which is not such a usual in female artist work. And as said by Koen, she's making a chandelier, which is the reference to Venice. So she's playing with different cultural references. So it's a very typical of her work, I think, the piece. But it's also perfect for this exhibition, because it brings together womanhood, glass, where you don't expect it, and the culture of Venice heritage.
And what I really like is that the work is in contrast with this of Moro.
So that's the
Yeah.
genius you had of putting them together.
Yeah, it's a very strong work, and you know, it's quite the center of this exhibition. It's on top of the furnace. It reminds you, of course, on the Excalibur sword that's going into the fire in this case. But you know, it's very transparent, but at the same time, who can have this sword, who can take it out, is the one who is mastering the fire, in my opinion. So to have that with a chandelier and together with Cornelia Parker, for example, the window which is black and you can't see through it. It's very surrealistic, but all this contrast, all these things are talking with each other. And before you know, you're in a kind of Venice street with Picky Bergman's lovely lights, which are so romantic and seducing. I don't know. I mean, Tim, this is really. I'm in Wonderland, and I can feel that.
I saw that sword. I saw the sword at the Italian Pavilion in last year's Biennale.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is, I mean, I think is the same one. It was in the Biennale, but in every space where you put it, it's strong, you know? I think we can take you to the garden, because for me, the garden is also very special. I mean, a little garden in Murano next to the furnace is, it's quite special. And we have Lolita with us, Timofeva. I know her for many years. I mean, 20 years ago, when I came to the furnace, you were here already. Yeah. And it was beautiful. And today we are confronting with your work, but I'm sure you can tell a lot about it.
We have to translate them here. Because unfortunately, Lolita speaks very little English. She promised me for years that she's going to learn, but I am desperate now. So let me see. Puoi dire qualcosa di questo?
Sì, certo, ma tu traduci?
Sì.
Allora, qui io di solito mi piace chiedere quando le persone arrivano cosa, cioè, perché quando mi dicono cosa intendi dire, allora io chiedo, ma tu cosa ne pensi?
Sì, normally, she likes to ask people, you know, what they think about, because normally people ask, what is this? And she turned the question around about, and then she asked, what do you think about this?
Allora, dico adesso cosa intendevo io e poi vi spiego diverse interpretazioni, compreso la tua.
Ok,
no, dopo le spieghi tu.
Okay,
no? Allora, per me l'albero è simbolo femminile.
The tree is a symbol of female, of women, of
perché affonda le radici in terra.
Because they got deep rooted on the ground, in the ground.
I rami in cielo.
And the branches up to the sky.
E quindi collega il cielo alla terra, un elemento stabile.
In this way, she collects, the tree collects the sky to the ground. So it is a kind
woman,
of,
woman.
It's like a woman. I mean, a woman is stable. Yeah.
Uomo è volatile.
Man is volatile.
E quindi questa è la base dell'interpretazione.
Yeah, this is the base of interpretation of what she's doing with this work.
In questo caso ci sono anche questi elementi che sono le alambichi alchemici.
See, in this case, all these glass elements, they are kind of alembic. I think the name is alembic, alchemical alembic. Yeah.
È perché albero è anche simbolo, cioè albero è conoscenza del bene e del male, quindi è la conoscenza, è saggezza.
The tree is a knowledge, is a wisdom, is the knowledge of good and bad.
E le alambichi sono le adepti che succhiano latte di conoscenza.
The alembic, they suck the milk of knowledge from the tree.
Perché attraverso la conoscenza l'uomo, cioè l'umanità, inteso come
Mhm,
l'umanità, può evolversi, può avere metamorfosi,
Because-
trasformarsi.
Yeah, through knowledge, man can develop himself, can transform himself. Well, here we are getting close to philosophy. You see how, Tim, how glass bring you also to philosophy, to a big vision of the work. Come si chiama questo artista? Yeah, let's go this way. Let's continue. Yeah, this is another artist here to you in America. I think you are very familiar. It's Marta Klonowska.
Yeah.
She's an artist originally from Poland, but she's very active in Germany, and we are collaborating with her already for many years. As you can see, this is a maniacal work. I mean, you know, we provide her with a glass with shades of colors, and she cut piece by piece with the special tool. You can cut the glass, and then she built imaginary animals like this little monkey here. Yeah. Let's continue.
I first saw her lemur at Berengo Studio.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, here we find it in front of a little masterpiece. This is Lord Prouveau. Lord Prouveau was the artist who took over the French pavilion at the Biennale last year. It's so whimsical, so beautiful. You see the carrot, the potato, yeah. And I was really astonished to see the creativity of this French young artist. Yeah.
I love that piece. Oh my God.
It's a beautiful piece, I have to say, but it brings us to completely other world. All of a sudden, from the furnace, let's say, you know, when the furnace is the heart, the veins are coming to that center. And we are standing in a completely other kind of environment. And immediately you're confronted with Peabody, which is a fantastic work. I know this work already for many years, and it gives a vision of another nature. If you look very careful to this piece, there is a little tree, but you can't feel the tree, but you reflect yourself into nature. And I think this is very strong, because the piece is quite old. And if somebody was talking about nature already at that point, you know, and today is, I mean, this is contemporary. Contemporary means that you're not in your time frame, but you say something about the future. And that's for me very important, that this piece is hanging over here. On the other side, you know, I think we have a very strong contemporary artist. It's Ursula von Rehns. Difficult name to speak. It's actually another kind, it's the material, you know, this glass material, but actually it's
she works on wood. Normally she works on cider.
Yes, but for me it's like a shirt, you know, yeah. It's like a jewel, and then it's so rough. And luckily we have a very rough mold to make this kind of contrast. And it's
she was here a few years ago. We made 2 or 3 pieces different size, you know. But she ground the piece herself.
I like the contrast between these things, and it's never boring. This piece. Yeah. Once that you think you have it, you lose it again. And this is for me very, very much art.
Absolutely.
But I think this is one of
this is an old acquaintance of Berengo Studio. We started in 1994. This is a work of the Austrian artist Kiki Kogelnick. Unfortunately, she passed away, and we have been creating a series of Venetian heads. She had a fantastic exhibition in the most important museum in Austria, in the Belvedere Museum. And so I was very proud to remind her of this, that the show gave me the possibility to to bring her back to us with such whimsical, funny words, you know. And then, the work are already, well, one work is in the Koen Museum of Glass. It was being acquired by the curator some 20 years ago. Let's continue.
So, Arlan, Nadja.
Koen.
I mean, all
Koen,
Yes.
Stay close to the microphone because we can't hear very well without that.
Yes, I understand. Yeah.
So Orlan is actually an artist, an artist that really doesn't have a relationship with glass and doesn't use glass. And this piece, she actually doesn't. I mean, she took these frames that are like typical frames that you can find here, but as very commercial objects. And then she turned them into something else where, she references her work. She knows for using sparkles. She knows for doing pieces with gold leaves. And so she's playing with her own vocabulary, and something that you can find in Murano is any commercial shop. There's a particular piece in the show because it's not like, there is no all the pieces we've seen have been worked in the fornace and done like extraordinary achievement from the maestro. Here it's more like a ready-made. It's very champion.
Tim, this is one of my favorites in this show. This is Kate McGuire, and Cyrene is the work, and you see that out of the glass there is another dimension of life that is coming out, and it's in my opinion, it's really telling something new, something hopeful, something which we don't know, and it's an unbelievable creation, and to put it here in this room, so in a lot of light, and in contrast with the work that says DNA has no color. I think today, this is maybe one of the most important sentences that we can have. Think about what is happening in the world, what kind of pressure there is on humanity. And then an artist who tells DNA has no color, I mean, to have this here in glass, transparent, talking about the fragility of life, I'm really taken by this work of Nancy. So let's continue the show. Let's go upstairs. This is like the show is never ending. Joyce Scott. I think you know her, right?
Oh yes.
She's I met her several times, and she is this kind of. The roots of what she is really in her pieces with all these little diamonds. You see the contrast. It's not only glass, but it's putting the kinds of pearls into the glass, and it makes reference to her, to where she comes from. And I think this is. I have to put this piece on a separate space because it's so strong that no other piece can conquer this piece. Sometimes we have to separate pieces. Actually, I remember, Tim, your piece was also like this. We have to take it away from others to give it the right space.
Yeah, down by the
so
boat.
We are upstairs, facing a fantastic library. The intellect is now in glass books. How fragile can be the intellectual world, and today everything is under pressure, and I really love that this piece is here. It's one of the most delicate pieces, one of the most intellectual pieces, and Chiara did a fantastic job, I think. This, I give you some space, to really, to really feel this kind. If you could feel what I feel, it's really something who's talking to you, even when there is silence. Look at this. This is a pregnant wall. It's a pregnant wall, but you mirror yourself inside of it. There is no other material where you can talk so strongly about life as glass. Look at these forms, how they start to get their own life, how they give you an expectation of something else. Charlotte Gillenhammer from Sweden, and look at this. I mean, Frederique Marangoni. She's such a strong.
It's a new work. It's a new work. And this is the history of women. As you can see, it is, how do you call it in English? When they knit. Yeah, you see, when they knit, the wool, Yeah. This was a kind of a function that a woman used to do. Only knitting and serve the man. Now this is a revenge.
Imagine a life, the only thing you can do is staying home and knitting.
Yes, stay home and knitting, yeah, exactly.
But for me, it looks like.
Try to remember whoever's speaking needs the microphone. Okay, guys?
Full of electricity, full of energy. Tell me.
I said whoever's speaking needs to be near the microphone or we will not hear them.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, speaking to the microphone.
I'm sorry.
That's it.
No, I said this is Federica Marangoni. She's an Italian artist, And this tells the history of women knitting, the wool, I mean, they have to stay home, they have to cook, and they have to serve the man or children. And so she did it in a beautiful red glass and with a neon light, and I think it's very strong. He tells the history of the woman condemned to knit. Sorry, I don't know if it is the right term, but it makes sense.
This is a work of Ceresy. Yes, and so I mean, it's quite sensitive, this work. It's a woman movement that reminds me of the old Greek statues in one way or another. I don't know why, but they give that kind of movement. I mean, with all these blocks, it's fantastic.
Very good.
And then
we have a new entry also. This work is made by Maria Teresa Alves. She's important in herself, but she happened to be the wife of Jimmy Darren. Jimmy Darren, he got last year the Golden Lion at the Biennale of Venice. And she is intrigued by these forms, abstract. And then she made some pieces that she doesn't want to sell it, to show here, because she was invited by the city for the next Biennale of Venice. In San Marco, we have the garden, the Giardini Imperiali, and she will make a show next year in all the Giardini with glass. So we are very proud that for the first time she encountered this medium, and immediately she got enthusiastic, and she used the glass as her top contemporary way of expressing an art. This is another. One day I was invited by Hans Ulrich Obrist. He's a curator of contemporary art. I want to tell you the truth. He's a guru of the curator of contemporary art. He is managing the Serpentine Gallery in London. And I was invited to visit a show, and what did I find? I found this fresh work. I thought it was a very young girl dancing, you know, and this is Rose Wiley. Rose Wiley, she's now 81, but is so incredible active, so incredible fresh, this work. And also, I in a way, I seduce her to use glass for the first time. Most of the work, team, that we are doing is to seduce artists to discover a new dimension. Because I see they come more and more, you know. Glass, I always tell this, as far as glass is concerned, we are only at the beginning now. We have such a long road to go, to interpret, to find, to experiment, you know. And this is Rose Wiley. And now, thanks to the glass, Rose Wiley, now she is in the stable of David Zwirner, one of the top galleries in the world, you know. And I'm very proud if I could function as a catalyzer to this achievement. Now I want to bring you to Lucy Horta, which you will be surprised. Lucy Horta, she's French.
No, she's English.
Yeah.
Together with her husband, they're
Oh, I see. Let's go back because I think she made also new fresh work. She made a wonderful installation with I call them masks, but I don't know what they are. Yes. Where is Lucy Horta? Very good. Okay. 46 alive.
So Nicola,
So be careful.
Nicola,
Yeah.
super important. If their mouths are not near the microphone, we will hear nothing they're saying.
Yeah. Now we are going to the artwork of Lucy Horta,
Lucy Horta, yeah.
and she's here, and she will say something about it.
Okay, keep her near the microphone.
Flew from Paris to be present at this pre-opening and to talk to you.
Thank you for
Okay,
coming.
look at this. Look at this.
It's really the first time that I'm seeing them all installed. Because, yeah, I left Venice, 2 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago, and
they
now.
they were still finishing the book. Isn't it beautiful?
Yeah.
So yeah,
Sure,
each
sure.
one has a special character. His or hers. Beautiful.
How did this mask came out? How did you invent? Because I was already surprised by the drawing you made of these masks. How did they? Can you see them, team?
I see them well.
Very good. Yeah, you see, fantastic.
Tell you a story when it's finished. Where's Tim based? Hi. I don't know. Hi, I'm Lucy Horta. Hi.
Hi, Lucy.
Hi. Should I start?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I began drawing masks just after the lockdown in Paris. So we went into lockdown on the 18th, 19th of March. And then a week later, after feeling all of the stress and anxiety, I began to think about how we could transform the negative connotation of the mask into something more positive. And I've been collecting masks, photographing them and collecting images of masks from all different cultures, rites and religions around the world for many years. So it was an occasion for me to bring all of this research together and to look at the defining characteristics, the features that really stood out, and extract those from their original source and begin to mix them together. So we have, in a sense, like a melting pot here of different cultures, different rites, different religions from across the world. So it is a really, let's say, multicultural, multi-ethnic study in a way of masks. And using this methodology, this process of combining these features, it could be a way also to run workshops later on with young children to, I hope, transform this pandemic, the situation of the pandemic, the anxiety that we've all lived through into something more positive and re-embrace the mask in a different way.
Yes, yes, thank you.
Thank you, Lucy.
Yeah. Oh, here you see an old acquaintance of us, Hurt Locker. This is the uniform of a Japanese policeman by Penny Byrne. Penny Byrne, she's an artist from Australia. Also, she used glass for the first time. Now, once she got the virus of glass, she continues to produce glass. She's making beautiful work in Australia, you see. And as you can see, she's using the old Venetian technique that they used to do chandelier for the garden, you know. In the garden, they have a metal structure and then the maestro blow into it, you see. And that's very powerful piece, which is at the end of our show. So what do you think, Tim, of this?
I think it's as magnificent as all of your shows.
Thank you, thank you. Oh, by the way,
Yeah,
our friend Bill Vermas, he already booked for tomorrow. I called him. I sent my boat to pick him up. He's coming here tomorrow at 1 o'clock.
Tell William Wormus we all say hi from the whole group.
Absolutely, yeah.
See him next Friday.
Okay. So
thank you very much.
Thank you very much,
I have a
Tim.
few questions for you, Adriano.
Yes, please.
Who is putting together the exhibit book and catalog, and who is writing the essays? Will there be women authors?
Okay, that's a good point. You know, I was really surprised that this exhibition, you know, when we started to conceive it, you know, I spoke to Miss Susan Silver, and she's the director of the Washington Museum of Women in the Arts. And she could not be the curator because she told me that she just opened the museum and she has 1,500 people to manage. But she volunteered to write an essay on the show, which I already received it, by the way. The second person who contributed to this show, now we are publishing a catalog by Rizzoli International, which is a good publisher. They have also a gallery, also a library in Brooklyn, in New York, in Broadway. Yeah, by the way, yeah. And that was Agnes Huslein. Agnes Huslein, she is the ex-director of the Belvedere Museum, which is the most important museum in Austria. It's a museum of the collection, who has the collection of Schiele, Klimt, Kokoschka, and many others. With my great surprise, this Unbreakable Women in Glass was immediately well received by the director of all the Museum of Venice, Mrs. Gabriella Belli. She's managing all the Historical Museum of Venice, and she has also provided a text for it. But with my great surprise, you know, you have to know that every morning at 8:45, I have a coffee with Maestro Lino Tagliapietra. And you know, Lino, by speaking about this show, he was telling me how important women are in glass, because he says that, you know, when he went to America for the first time to Pilchuck in Washington State, he was astonished to see how many women are working in glass, and they have an excellent proficiency with the medium, so different from Venetian furnaces, where in a way a woman is considered also to bring bad luck. So, and he was explaining to me as a teacher, the women were the most receptive of his teachings and the realization they did. So, and I asked him, are you ready to put this in writing? And he willingly did this. I have also a text by Lino Tagliapietra, which also makes me very proud because, you know, Lino is a living legend in the glass, in America particularly. So it means that...
Adriano,
yeah,
as soon as
yeah,
that book is ready to be bought and it's been published, let us know. We'll share it on the 21st Century Glass page because I know a lot of people would like to get their hands on that book.
absolutely, absolutely. And you know, there is one text missing in the book. One text which we need definitely to receive, which is your text.
No. Talk to Bill Warman. Talk to Bill Warman.
No.
In fact,
I'm joking. No, but I would like you a few lines of consideration. So where you place us in the 21st century glass
yes, you
history.
do.
Yes.
And in my mind, you show what 21st century glass is all about, my friend.
Okay. So I think we are almost at the end. Thank you very much. Do you have any other question? Yeah.
Any other questions from anybody else before we say goodbye? By the way, William Austin Norval is with us, and he wants desperately to say, you know, he's saying hello, by the way.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Hello,
Thank you so much, Adriano. Enjoy the openings.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for helping. A good night.